Welcome back to Garage Matters. Today we'll be doing take 2 on this 2017 Toyota 4Runner oil change. Now once again, we got our motor oil right here. We got 6 quarts of 0W20. That's the manufacturer's recommended oil weight. And we also picked up a filter element. Now the interval cycle for oil changes on this 4Runner is every 5,000 miles. Oddly enough, this Mobile 1 filter says it protects up to 20,000 miles. This Castrol Edge oil says it protects up to 10,000 miles. So could you really run this oil until 10,000 miles and skip that 5,000 mile interval change? Me? Probably not. I wouldn't do that. I just go ahead and change it every 5,000 miles, even though it says it protects up to 10,000 and 20,000. The oil filter change is a whole lot cheaper than changing out a motor. So let's go ahead and open up this box and take a look at this filter element. This filter element is just the filter by itself. We gotta take a look at the cartridge assembly. So the cartridge for it, this is what it looks like. This is actually for a Camry. I bought this because it was made out of metal. On the 4Runner it's plastic, the housing's plastic, but for the Camrys, for some reason it came with a metal housing. Supposedly these are supposed to fit on the 4Runner too, but I haven't had a chance to put it on. Now when you're ready to go ahead and take this assembly off, there's a little drain hole right here. This plastic piece actually comes with the filter. So you take this plastic piece right here, push it up in here to drain the rest of the contents out of this canister before you unscrew it. Once it's all done draining, you can go ahead and put your socket on here and then twist it off. Once you twist it off, you're going to go ahead and take out the filter element, replace it with the new one, put the O-rings on, and then screw it back on. So we'll go ahead and get started underneath the car. Now under here we got drain of oil, so we're gonna open up this cover to access the drain bolt. 2 bolts right here, one right here, one right here, both 12 millimeters. Once it's loose, you can slide this cover around, then access the drain bolt. Now it's time to go ahead and loosen up the drain bolt, start draining the oil. Once again, it's going to be a 14 millimeter. Get her loose. Get your drip pan ready. Take the bolt out. Now once he's done draining, just gonna go ahead and move the oil pan out of the way. Put the drain bolt back on. We're gonna go 27 foot-pounds on this drain bolt. Bring in the torque wrench. Okay, there's the click. 27 inch-pounds. Go ahead and put this cover back on. Okay. Tighten her down. Okay. Good enough. Now, we gotta get the skid plate lowered so we can go ahead and change the oil filter. Now it's time. Go ahead and lower the skid plate. Got 4 bolts holding it down. One right here, and 2 up here. Just want to go ahead and loosen these bolts so we can lower the skid plate. Be careful not to let it slam top of your head. Kind of support it and then let it drop on down. Now we can access the oil filter housing. Time to go ahead and loosen up this washer on the bottom of this filter assembly so we can stick this tube during the rest of the contents that are inside this assembly. Once she's done draining, let's go ahead and pull this hose on out. Alright, this clip's gotta come out. Take a flathead screwdriver, pry it out. Once that's removed, we can get an oil filter wrench on here, crank her off. Once you got this, just go ahead and take it off, drain the rest of the contents, replace the oil filter, and screw it back on. Here we have the housing and the filter. We'll go ahead and remove the old filter, take off this O-ring, replace it with the new one. So I'll lube it up a little. Put it back on. Now down here, there's another O-ring that comes in the packaging. Do the same thing. Lube up the O-ring. Put it on here. Then this little washer right here. We'll just go ahead and hand tight this washer. That's probably good enough. Put the new filter on. Just like that. Now I'm gonna keep doing what I've always been doing, is pre-filling these oil filters. That's just my personal preference. I like doing it so it reduces the amount of time there's no oil inside the engine. So if you can fill this up a little bit more, oil's already sitting inside here instead of waiting on the oil pump to pump oil in here and then make it out to the engine. So that's why I like doing it. This reduces that metal contact time. Go ahead and pre-fill it a little. Alright, so that actually took about 1/4 of a quart actually. Go ahead and get this put back on. Now, I'll put this little retaining clip back on. You do just put it back on here, slide it up. Alright, that's it for this oil filter housing. Now we can go ahead and swing up this skid plate, tighten everything down, and fill up the oil. Normally, I would go finger tight back here first, but I really can't. I'm a one-person team right here now. So what I'm doing is just kind of using the drill ever so slightly, pulling on the trigger so I can slowly thread it. That way I can feel if it's cross-threaded or not. I don't want to just slam it in there and cross-thread it. I'm going ever so slightly, slowly. Make sure it's not cross-threaded. Now I can come back and tighten them down. Should be good. It's time for the oil. Now it's time to start pouring the oil in. We're going to go ahead and use this 5-quart jug. The reason why I'm using this 5-quart jug first is all the oil that we drained out. I'm going to pour it into this 5-quart jug, bring it back to my local auto parts store, and they're going to recycle it for me. Come over here and check the oil, make sure there's enough in here. And I'll put 5.5 quarts in here, so oil looks good. Take this funnel off. And before I start the motor, I'm gonna just do one quick look over underneath the car, make sure nothing is leaking, and then start her up. Do one last check of the oil. Oil looks good. We're almost done. We gotta go ahead and reset the maintenance reminder in the driver's seat. Press the odometer pin in. Turn the key to the on position. and then you're done. It would have made things a whole lot easier if I put this truck on a lift, or even if I put it on jack stands. It would have given me that extra clearance to make things a whole lot easier. Now if you're new to the 4Runner scene and never done an oil change on a 4Runner before, or just want a different perspective on how people do oil changes on their 4Runners, hopefully you found this video helpful. Join us next time on Garage Matters, and remember to hit the like and subscribe button.